5:30. I'll call it to order. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone had a good summer vacation. All right, first, just quick order of business. Does anyone have any edits from our minutes from last time?
No.
No?
Did you read them?
No,
Yeah, I read them. I didn't have any.
Because I wrote them really quickly.
All right.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye, Sally.
Aye.
Aye.
Do you have to?
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
So I pulled it out. All right. Pursuant to Massachusetts General Law 30A, Section 20F, I think I'm reading that right. After notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed. All other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. And our only member who is not with us today, would you like to say your name?
Oh, William Russiteris.
There you go.
You say it well.
Yeah, you said.
I've been pronouncing it for a long time.
All right. First order of business, we just had an update from the emergency permit for, was it the fire hydrant, correct?
Fire, yeah, kind
The
of.
pump,
Yeah. The pump.
the
Yeah.
pump broke.
Yeah. Anything update about that, or just to share about what that was?
We have the notice of intent in hand at the Conservation Commission. We will hear it. They've continued it, so we'll hear it at the next meeting. We had issued an emergency certification so that they could transfer the source of the water to the town water tower from the fire pond. We went up there, we had a report from a citizen that things were going sideways. And we went up and looked at it and determined that in fact, things had gone sideways. And we were quite alarmed.
Because, just to be clear, because they had started the work.
They had started work that was not included in the emergency certification. The emergency certification only requires that you remediate the issue that you have that's the emergency. It does not allow you to begin work without having submitted the notice of intent, which they had not done. And we were expecting the notice of intent to come in quickly, which it did not. There was an enormous pile of dirt that we saw that was uncovered, unplanted, unnetted, and that we were afraid that had we had a big storm, that it would just disintegrate right into the bog. And there was also what we think is probably the route that they sent the pipe from the water tower to the new pump station, which was a whole dirt, like it was like a dirt highway. And again, there were
4 lanes.
yeah,
Oh,
4
jeez.
lanes.
if there had been a big storm, that would have all washed down the hill into the bog. So we were alarmed. And Bill has been there more recently than any of us. Maybe you'd like to say what you saw.
Yeah, they, fingers crossed, thus far, there's been no intrusion into the marsh. They improved the fencing. It's not brilliant, but I mean, it's much better than it was. They have silt fence and they have wattles in the critical areas. They hydroseeded the highway, and that looks pretty good. That seems to have, you could see evidence of water running down the hill and getting caught up, all the debris getting caught up in the growing grass. And they hydroseeded the mound of dirt too. So it all seems much better than it was, but it's still not ideal, and it's still something we should keep an eye on.
And it's
both-
still not permitted.
Yeah, right, right. I mean, that's a critical part. And there were people out there working when I was working on the pump house when I was there, taking pictures and looking at the silt fence and everything else.
Mhm.
It's like, so they're just going on like, nothing happened. And like they have permission, but yeah,
Yeah, they don't.
no.
And apparently, I heard that the Mohican tribe is
Mhm.
up in arms because they have not been consulted about what artifacts and other things of interest to them might be in that site that people are just kind of mowing over or tromping on or whatever they are doing. And Jess Toro said that she was quite sure that there were endangered species plants that had been just
Under this big.
destroyed under the big pile.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a mess.
Want to be on the Concom?
Sure. I'll add it to the resume. Okay, so that's a good update. And obviously, I thought they were going to talk at the last meeting.
We did too.
You did. Oh, okay. And
We thought that. They continued it, but apparently they're working still without a permit.
Yeah.
It's
Interesting.
really
I
concerning.
was a little confused on all that, so I didn't note that right away.
Mhm.
No, they don't have permission.
Yeah, they don't have permission. Yeah, I knew they had the permission on the emergency order, but I wasn't quite clear on the whole thing. So yeah, they were definitely out there working in the pit where they're building the pump house.
So can we remind Brent? Is it Brent?
No, it's Foresight.
Can we remind Foresight that they need?
Yeah,
Well, I'd be curious too,
Brian.
if from our perspective, Jess Toro might be able to really confirm not necessarily the identity of what the plants are, but
I think she knew.
she knew. I mean, it would be,
And Mass Heritage would know.
well, it'd be interesting if we could confirm that, and then if they come to our next meeting or whenever that is to bring that up or just identify it as just one of the issues. From our perspective, I think that's what this board at least could be an eyes on.
I mean, in the ultimate end of this thing, assuming that it gets done according to what we can condition and what we can advise them that they need to do, this is a good thing because they're not going to be sucking stuff out of the fire pond
Mhm.
and spreading it all over everywhere. I mean, it's going to be better for them, and it's going to be better for us because they're not, going to have frogs
Right.
flying around people's rooms when there's a fire. I don't know. It's just, it's one of those mental images that you have when they're sucking things out of a bog.
Yeah.
Yeah, raining frogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Flaming frogs. Yeah.
So they'll be spreading clean water at least on the fire. Heaven forbid that there is one. But the disturbance even though it's the fire pond, the disturbance to that whole area would be quite
And the
remarkable, I think, if there were a major fire at Eden Hill and they had to really suck the water, it would have been awful.
Mhm.
but also just the frank disregard for working without a permit.
I keep telling you, they have higher authorities.
But is it Foresight?
No,
Mm.
But that's
the
not
Marians have their own,
where am I?
this is
Well, it's good to clear up who they are just
Yeah.
for,
it's historical.
yeah.
From the Conservation Commission that they have come before the Conservation Commission for many different projects. And they have not adhered to the restrictions that they've been given on a regular basis.
So you're gonna reach out to Foresight? And
Yeah.
tell them this?
And they can like or lump what I just said, but it's true. We had the retention pond, which failed epically and wiped out Pine Street. We have the outflow that comes down the driveway that
New
that
construction.
destroyed Heaton Court.
Mhm.
It's not one single event,
Mhm.
so.
Okay, and who's gonna reach out to Just Toro? To ask what's,
I don't have a personal relationship with, I know her through so many meetings, but I don't.
I can try, but she's difficult to, she's difficult to pin down.
Especially, I think if you're just looking for some kind of,
I mean, she was really quite alarmed.
yeah, if she can just really speak to that one topic and provide a statement even, just to put in the record, that we're,
and then see if it's there when the dirt is coming. It won't be.
well, I think that's something maybe we could discuss at the next is remediation of that. Because I'm assuming that pile is either fill or being removed completely, or is it?
Bill had a theory about where the pile came from.
Oh, you're muted.
Muted, Bill. You're muted.
Yes, following the tracks of big equipment, seemed to me that they had a staging area off to the right as you face the bog, where they were taking dirt from the main construction site from the digging of the foundation, and they were piling it there. And I don't know whether they, that was not good enough or they had too much, but nothing they have done digging next to the pond is enough to create. There are two piles of dirt.
Mhm.
One that's sort of behind the construction site, and then the bigger one that's right up against the wetland. And I don't see any way all of that dirt could have come out of anything in situ. So I think they brought it in from somewhere else with the idea, well, we'll just pile it here and it'll rinse down into the to the wetland, and we won't have to worry about it. We won't have to haul it off and pay.
Mhm.
That's just a theory.
Mhm.
Mm. All right, well, and when's the next meeting roughly for the COMCOM about it?
A week from
The
now.
23rd.
The 23rd, okay.
And I actually had a conversation with one of the engineers on one of the projects that we're looking at for conservation. And it seems as though we have to figure out a way to make sure that the contractors are accountable for these things, because they get the plans, they're supposed to have read the plans ahead of time and signed off on them. But then they go up and things just fall apart, and we're going to face this with the boat ramp too. And I know that is not this jurisdiction, but these things happen way too often. And we could end up with a catastrophic event on Kampossa Bog, because the contractors are say, well, we're free to do it now, so we're going to do it now, and this is how we're going to do it. And
Yeah,
we're not going to pay attention to what all the things were we were supposed to do.
Right.
I was quite surprised, since I'm new to all this, that the contractors had no responsibility. That it was all on the homeowner, the landowner. And it's like, pardon me?
Ultimately, it is. Ultimately,
Yeah, I mean, I know ultimately, but there should be some onus on the contractors to follow the rules. They know the rules. A lot of landowners probably don't.
Right.
And so they know they're going against the rules.
Before you came on the COMCOM, John Hart had advocated really strongly for the contractors to sign the notice of intent so that we had it in writing that they saw it. I don't think that ever happened, but it's something we may want to revisit, because we're seeing a lot of.
Is that something that would be a bylaw in the town, or that you would
No,
just,
we could just
you
do
could
it.
just say?
I think we
it's
could just
a
do it.
rule.
Yeah, it's an order of conditions. We could just do it.
Yeah. Because I think, it seems like like you're saying, you're pointing out, it moves very quickly. And by the time a body is able to catch up, like a town body can catch up and see what's going on,
Damages.
the damage is done. And then that's when everyone gets frustrated, because Yeah. All right, so we'll probably keep that,
So
update for the next one.
if you can.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Babies are welcome.
I don't, he's starting to babble pretty good. It might be.
I took my grandchildren to any number of site visits and stuff, and, they ran around, did stuff.
Yeah.
Just to be the
great.
voice of the chair of the
Yeah.
commission.
Well, especially if we get the
No pressure.
Just Toro at least to, and if there's anything that can be shared, because visually, so to visually wrap my head around it, because I have an idea.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it up close and personal. I've
I
only seen
should
it.
send you the pictures that I have.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll send you the pictures that I have too.
yeah. And then if Jess verifies, and I know it's a tricky thing, especially with the rare plants, identifying exactly where they are.
Oh, yeah, I
know.
don't think we can say that in a public meeting.
Well, exactly. So I know it's,
She may
but,
not be able to tell you.
Yeah.
well, and that's the thing is, if she can at least attest to there are plants that we know of in that spot, because you're already, with the mound, if there's only 2 soil mounds, you're kind of narrowing it down to 2 places that those plants could be.
I don't know if in a public meeting she can even say that.
That's,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know.
Maybe just ask what she can say.
That's what she
And-
can say.
Or maybe we make it very bland and say that we have it on good authority that in the vicinity of it, there are species,
Rare plant species.
rare plant species being impacted. If we can just have that confirmation, then maybe that's what we leave it at, because we can't get into the location or what it is.
She said, but I
Mhm.
didn't remember.
Yeah, she said it as we were going down. I don't remember either what it was. But I don't think she can say it in a public
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
And there was another person, Rennie, who also had comments.
Rennie, who was on, Rennie Rundell.
Mhm.
Rundell? Is that his name? He was one of the original people on this commission from the Nature Conservancy who did a lot.
Gotcha.
With the Fen.
Okay. Yeah, maybe, I'm gonna put that in my calendar and what time does it usually start?
7,
7? Okay,
but the boat ramp is up first.
okay. Well, I can at least call in and have an ear for when it does.
That's controversial and people are going to have a lot to say about it. Oh, no, it's not, because it's not until October.
But
Never
Dave
mind.
is coming to that meeting. That was a question I had for you. Can we talk about it without the state there?
Yes,
Okay, because Dave.
it's on the agenda.
Dave's coming to talk about it.
It's on the, we can talk all we want. If it's on the agenda, we can talk about it.
Do you have to let the state know we're talking about it?
No,
All right.
I'm just asking, I don't know.
I mean, we can't,
We can't vote. But
no, we can't vote on anything without their final. And there was a possible revision to the ADA ramp that was suggested that I sent to George. But I haven't heard back from him, so.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right, well, there's some action items and then obviously there's some more information that will have to be gleaned from the next meeting. But I will keep that on for our next month's meeting that we can rediscuss it, relook at it.
When is our next month meeting?
Uh,
I think I have it on my phone, but
Third,
Third, so it'd be the 20th.
okay, so that's before we hear.
Oh, it will be before you hear?
I mean, we'll have 2 Concom meetings between now and then. But we won't have the revisions from the state until the 28th.
Gotcha. Well, we'll hear who's talking at the 23rd meeting?
it's just a conversation.
It's just the Comcom talking amongst.
Oh, you were talking about 2 different things.
Oh, what are you?
So you're talking about the fire pump,
Yeah,
right? The fire pump might be on the 23rd.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's
Oh,
next
okay.
week.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want.
You're talking about the ADA rate. Yeah,
Gotcha.
don't care about it.
Oh.
Sorry. There's so many crises in our,
Yeah, don't say I don't care. I
No, it's
just,
not that you don't care, but I mean, it's not.
there's
not my
so
personal.
many crises in our world right now.
And we're just trying to take care of one little fen. All right. So our next thing is to discuss the hydrological study. After talking last time with, it was Amy Rhodes, I think, so we have that $50,000 available for a hydrological study. I put it on here kind of just open up to start discussing how do we want to maybe go at putting one together and what do we want to put in it. She, and the last meeting, had some suggestions about potential things to look at. How has flooding changed the geography and hydrochemistry? Or how has flooding changed the plant diversity? Probes or installing probes to better understand groundwater, especially talking about, the salinity of it going back uphill in some theoretical cases. Those were kind of her opening thoughts about what to prioritize.
I wonder if we shouldn't be thinking about, maybe it isn't something to do with the $50,000, but I wonder if we shouldn't be thinking about the effects that this really fairly epic drought is having on the bog.
Like water level.
Are we seeing changes as a result of that? I mean, Lake Champlain is almost at record level.
And we're down like 9 inches, I think, last time I heard, for our average for
Yeah.
below average.
The historic level for Lake Champlain was like in the early 1900s, and I guess they're within a foot of that at the moment. So that, I would think that we would be seeing that too. The Hudson River is seeing cyanobacteria outbreaks all along the banks, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on that we should be worried about.
Yeah.
So the probes maybe,
Maybe.
that test the groundwater, and would such a thing register on those kinds of variations, do you think?
It's a question I have. I even in the paper that she wrote, there's so many variables.
Yeah,
I don't know how you separate the variables, and certainly, I mean, at least for me, I don't know enough about bogs to be able to make a suggestion about how you go about doing that. I would think the $50,000 may be something we could add to either a UMass study or a Nature Conservancy study, but I just don't know. I feel like I don't know enough to know what to do with that money. You may know more about it. I just don't.
Yeah, hydrology's sort of not my bailiwick, but I think you're gonna have to, if that's the limit of the money, it's gonna have to be fairly focused. So it'd be nice to know what the effects have been on diversity, but now you're talking a whole nother level of expertise. Someone different who works on plants and animals versus someone who works on water. I mean, and the question is, which do we want to know the most about? Do we want to know what the dynamics of the water in the basin are and how it's affecting the bog, or do we want to know how changes in the bog are affecting the bog? That is, how the lower water levels or intrusion of salt are affecting biodiversity. And those are like two different questions. One's hydrological and one's really ecological. And I don't think you can, unless you have more money, you can't really combine the two, because that's, you're involving two different levels of expertise, really, or two different kinds of expertise, not level. And I think maybe it's a multi-stage sort of thing. That the first thing is to find out how the water flow and the water chemistry has changed or is changing with reduced rainfall, increased salt runoff, all the other things that go into changing both surface water and groundwater. And I think you need to know that how that has changed before you get into the biology of it, how that has affected the bog. I mean, that's where my interest lies, right? The diversity in the species. But I really think the first step is to understand the groundwater flow and the surface water flow, and what are the possible point sources of intrusions into the marsh, whether it be silt or whether it be salt or whether it be anything else that's coming off the roads or coming off, any fields or anything that are nearby.
Or the beaver.
Pardon me?
Or the beaver.
Mhm.
She made the point. She said the most significant effect has been the raising of water levels from beaver.
Mhm.
So it's another component.
So water not turning over as much too, because.
Right. So early on, before any of you were on this commission, Renee Wendell from Nature Conservancy came and spoke with us.
Mhm.
And he was on the original commission and did a lot of work through Nature Conservancy. And he said he was interested in being part of the commission. And Laura, at the time, thought it should just be citizens of Stockbridge. I think he would be really good to reach out to and see what they're doing.
Mhm.
We have no idea what they're doing,
Right.
and see if he is interested in, if there's a study similar to what you're saying, Bill, that
Yeah.
they're doing that we could add to. But I feel like it's hard
Yeah.
it's over my head for us to do our own study, and I'd rather
Yeah. So maybe,
find somebody who is, and I think the Nature Conservancy is still doing things, I just
Right.
don't know what.
right. So maybe it's like extending, if someone's already doing a study, can we extend it with this money if it's based around hydrological studies?
Mhm.
Because there are the probes that already exist.
Yep.
From what I understand, they're already there, and it's just it seems like they're not collecting data currently.
Well, we didn't think anyone was, but Dr. Rhodes is.
Dr. Rose, yeah.
So she said that the one by rattlesnake, which I
Right.
always wonder why it's
Yeah,
there.
that's
what it's
active.
doing. She said it, they are getting data from it.
I'm very new to the whole concept of RFPs, like creating RFPs. Is it insane that hear me out, almost like a reverse RFP, where we're like, we go to Nature's, we reach out, we put it out, we're like, we're looking to do a study, propose a study. This is how much it is. And the people come to this committee and say, this is, I don't want to draw it out, but reach out very focusedly to the people who have done studies in the past and have them be like, design, what do you want to know? Design it, come talk to us and tell us what it is. And here's the parameters. Hydrological study, because we could reach out.
Or what are you doing and can.
Or what are you doing? Yeah.
we add some money to it and be part of.
Right. And it's a very tight group. I mean, it is public, but the people who are already doing the work there, just put it out to them for like, like come propose something to us.
So who would that list be?
I mean, well, you have UMass, you have the Nature Conservancy. I mean,
Fish and Wildlife.
Fish and Wildlife.
Yes.
I mean, I would say courtesy DOT, but I don't.
You know, it was, the original committee was big.
Right.
I mean, there were, I don't know how many different stakeholders from all over, both the county and,
But it was people
Town.
whose job it was.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Do the work.
right, it was the beginnings of the ACEC creation. So we had Leslie Luchonic from the state, and we had Frank Lowenstein from Nature Conservancy, and
But they were paid, and that was their job to do
what's
that.
his face, Moore from Mass Highway, and they were all, you know, coming to the meetings on a regular basis. And so it was a much broader and much more professional
Yeah.
group originally. And I think then when Judy died, it just kind of disintegrated and
But I think there's some of this work is still being done.
Yeah.
I think Nature Conservancy
but
and
we
Fish and
don't
Wildlife.
really know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, when Renee came, he was one of the first people to come and speak with us. I think it was before you came, and he was interested, but he said, you know, Nature Conservancy has cuts. We don't have the number of people that we used to have, but he was still interested. So I think he would be a good person.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we have space on the commission.
Or if you can even just come and talk to us.
Or just even come talk to him, but if he could recommend someone, because I'm pretty sure we are at least a 5-member committee.
Right, we were,
and
Arthur and Louise and Rich and Laura are going.
yeah, so, and so there is still room for us to have more. So if there is someone out there like that who maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore, but.
And Fish and Wildlife
Mhm.
are who hired Jess to do the invasive management, so they're still involved too.
Gotcha. So because like, I think you're right. I don't know if we necessarily are going to add anything to. It's more like, it feels more beneficial and we'll get more bang for our buck if we add on to someone else's to extend a study and broaden, not broaden it, but keep it going to get more data. Because I think, to the Beaver's point, it's the more time we can like see in a snapshot of data, the better it is, because it is probably getting saltier. It is probably getting lower, which is just eventually adding up to it changing the chemistry. But I also love the plants because I do want to know what, is out there.
And the other question is, these folks who've been doing this for a while, what is the baseline, on these things? Do we know what was there originally?
Right.
Do we have a list of the plants that have been and bugs and critters and stuff that have been identified in that?
Well, Natural Heritage has the plants. They do. No, they do, because when I've gone, they send out the information and it's historical. So they can say in, 1985, this was here. There were 5 of them. In 1995, there were 20 of them. They do have the plant information. I don't know who has the bugs and the wildlife information, but the endangered plant information is being tracked.
They should have it at Heritage. I mean, there's
Probably do. Yeah.
there's typically a zoology group and a botany
Yep.
group. If they probably here, there's an ecosystem group as well, or ecosystem person who tracks endangered ecosystems or endangered habitats. I mean, that's sort of the model for the heritage programs.
Yeah, but I'm concerned that from what I know of Heritage, that they are not particularly hands-on. And so who is giving them the information?
Well, I only know from doing the study
Yeah,
When I went out, it was with a biology teacher from BU. She
Yeah.
left me in the dust. She was so knowledgeable.
Mm.
And she had all the equipment and she wrote a huge report
good.
on what we did. And that all went into their.
All right, it went into their
Tagged
database.
along and
Okay,
tried to not drown in the bog. But, yeah, no, I think that I was impressed.
okay,
I
good.
think that they do a good job. They just don't make it public. They don't
Yeah.
then say, you know, this is here and that's there. It's all in their files, but their files are extensive.
Okay, good.
And they start out by going through any substantial collection within the state and in neighboring states that have data on collections, that have large collections. And they go through the database. I'm having done this myself, go through that database and look for locations for, records of rare, endangered, threatened plants and animals. And that all gets recorded very meticulously.
Yeah.
All the information on the tag, the collection tag, especially if they have the location data, it goes in as universal transverse Mercator points rather than using latitude longitude. And so all of that information, it's, there's someone in a heritage program whose job is just to manage
right.
data.
And the plants we found were exactly where they said they would be.
Mm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
impressed.
Hmm,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
So you should do it next year.
I do. I plan on it.
Yeah.
I still have your link.
Yeah.
So to kind of circle back around, just to really clarify, which tack do we want to take? Do we want to really just send an email out to this list and ask, we have this money, we're looking to do or add to a hydrological study. What are you doing? Is there something that we can support, or do we want?
I would suggest we reach out to Renee Wendell, who's still at Nature Conservancy. And who's the Fish and Wildlife guy?
Chris Bulow.
And Chris Bulow, who originally Laura reached out to several times. Originally, he was very, very enthusiastic and then it faded away. But I think he would be good to connect with again and see if we can get one or both of them to come talk to us.
So we want, just because we want to do that before we move forward with RFP, just to talk to people, just to get a better
See what's
sense.
happening.
They might have a project already underway that they said, oh man, we're running out of money.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
But much better to piggyback on existing infrastructure and existing personnel and an ongoing project than try to start something up de novo.
right.
Which is
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So who was it again? We have Fishing Game.
They went.
Chris Bulow and Rainey Wendell. Is it Wendell or Wendell? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Rennie.
Okay.
Randy.
Cool.
Who will do that? Who is not named Lisa?
I mean, do you have any connections in either of those institutions?
Which of the two, wildlife and
Nature
Nature
Conservancy.
Conservancy.
what? No, not anymore.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a long time, but if you give me the contact information, I can certainly, try and run something by them. And
They're both very connected to that
Yeah.
bog, so I would expect a response.
Yeah, if you want to just construct an email and say that, try to make it not look spammy. Start with, we have 50,000.
Well,
Yeah.
if it comes from the Stockbridge
Yeah,
address,
yeah,
I'll know that it's real.
yeah.
I don't know. David's keep bouncing back to
I
me.
don't know why.
Hmm.
He explained, he did explain.
Oh, he did? Okay. I'll
Yeah,
have to.
he said he made a mistake,
All right.
if you can get it.
So yeah, if you want to just,
Spammer.
we'll get the names and email addresses. And also maybe in this email, if we have their attention and really kind of lead with inviting them to come talk. And then, and you can include me on that email, so I can also, if there's, just CC me with it, so
Yeah.
um,
All right.
That's a good.
can help with communication or something comes up.
Mhm.
Especially if they do say it, and then I can just send them the agenda and information for our next meeting.
All right.
Which will be October 20th. So that's another, if we can include in the email, just let them know that our next meeting will be then.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I went through all my emails this
Yeah.
morning, but I didn't see.
No, this came at like 3:30.
All right. All right. Anything else about the RFP? Great. Anyone got anything special or anything else before wrapping up?
You?
No? No?
Nope.
Not hearing it.
I
All
will.
right.
I will drop by and the Eden Fathers periodically and keep an eye on that since it's very
Great.
close.
Yeah, that's great.
That'd be great.
That's a big help.
All righty.
So I make a motion, we close the public hearing?
Do I have a second?
I
Second.
second. Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Aye, Bill.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.